Hello and welcome to today's video on high altitude investing. Today is part of a new series and it's basically just me doing technical analysis on a coin from start to finish. So I'm calling this from start to finish TA. So this is episode 1. I'm going to start with Litecoin. I want suggestions for my next video, which I'll be uploading a week from today, so next Monday. And basically what I want you to do is comment in the description, and the top voted comment will be my next coin I do technical analysis on. This is a good way for me to kind of teach you how I do it and just explain what my thoughts are on certain highly requested coins. So this one is highly requested and also highly hyped and also a good chart pattern. So I thought I would do this one today since I have to pick one for the first runoff, the first run, so that you guys can actually comment for the next one and have an upvoted suggestion. Now this is the very first thing that I do when I'm doing technical analysis is I draw Fibonacci. Now when you draw your Fibonacci retracement, this is tradingview.com by the way, it's basically, Fibonacci is pretty simple. It's just a math equation and it just calculates support and resistance zones. So area where the prices will find support and a bounce on the upside, or areas where prices will find resistance and bounce on the downside. So if I pull this Fibonacci retracement, you want to draw from when the breakout happens. What do I mean by that? Well, right here we have resistance, as you can see, and then it broke resistance in this area. So that's where the breakout happens, where all this volume comes in right here. There's this big green bar. You can just see that this is a breakout. It breaks out right here. Everything back here is just boring and slow, right? And then breakout. So look for that, and look for that volume right here too. That's pretty important to have that volume. And then click over here on the left hand side, and then on the third one down on tradingview.com you click Fib retracement, and then if it's not there you can click the over arrow and click Fib retracement here. Mine is just set to be black and white. Yours will probably be defaulted to rainbow, but either way the support and resistances are the same. So I'm going to go ahead and click. All I did was draw from where the breakout happens to the previous resistance. And this gives us a chart that has now areas where there was support and resistance in the prices. As you can see, we hit support right here at the 618. That's actually a really good buy spot. I look for that a lot. There's a pump and then a fall back to the 618. As you can see, this pump from the breakout, and then you have your fall back to the 618. So that's actually a good spot to be buying. If you look for this big triangle looking shape here and you buy at 618, it usually has a high chance of a bounce if you know how to draw your Fibonacci from where the breakout happens. Alright, so if we're looking here in Litecoin, we see that the prices are generally climbing pretty steep, which is actually a good thing because it's coming up very, very hard to the same spot over and over and over. What is that spot? 0.0222 Bitcoin. For some reason it doesn't really like that spot. Why is it? Every time it touches those prices it falls back. Well, let's figure out why. Maybe some history can tell us something. If we go back into our history here, we have this thing that happened. This was a big pump and dump. I believe it was manipulation, but either way the chart pattern still holds valid that this is resistance. As you can see, these wicks up, it comes and hits them, then falls, comes and hits them and falls. It broke above this due to a pump and dump, then it came and hit this and falls, came and hit this and falls. So as you can see, this range between 0.017 and 0.02 is really a pretty big area of resistance in the previous prices. So that would be why it's resisting this area, or resisting a breakout at that area. Now, because there's a couple ways you can see whether it will actually break this resistance or not. My favorite method for checking to see if it's going to break that resistance is the buying support it has. Litecoin has a lot of buying support. As you can see, majority of the prices are held above this line, this support line. A lot of the prices are very, very high in Litecoin compared to its major support trend right here that I drew, this green line. So that tells me there's a lot of buyers in Litecoin. The other good thing is it's made what's called a cup and handle formation. If you don't know what that is, I have some information on that in my VIP course, as well as ascending triangles, which is another formation that this coin has made. Yeah, a lot of good information in that. If you're interested, links in the description. Now, as we can see, we have this cup-looking shape, this bowl, and then we have the handle formation right here. So I can just draw that right here. That's a bullish signal. It's called a cup and handle formation. You can see it kind of looks like a cup and a handle for like tea or coffee or whatever. So that's actually a bullish signal. That's one thing that's showing to me that this has a lot of upward momentum, because when things round out on the bottom, it usually wants to go higher, and when things round out at tops, it usually wants to go lower. Like in Bitcoin, if you look, there's a rounded top and then it dropped off. Same with the total cryptocurrency market cap. There's a rounded top and it drops off. So look for those rounded shapes, because they can be pretty good indication of what direction the buyers are dying out or the sellers are dying out, either way. In this case, the sellers die out as it rounds out and then pumps, making this cup and handle formation. Now there's a little bit of panic selling here at the top. That's very normal. That's just because this is a major resistance. So when you have major resistance, then there's usually sellers come in. It's just natural market movement. So as we can see, we draw this support line. There's a lot of buying support. Very, very good. This bodied resistance, so if you look at the bodies of the candles, you can see that the bodied resistance has already been broken and it's actually falling onto support in that area. So this is very bullish looking. Lots of things tell me that. Lots of green candles, as you can see. So again, more buyer support. It doesn't like to fall hard. Every time it hits support, it bounces nicely. So there's lots of buying support on the support. It lands and then bounces. As you can see, lands and then bounces. So every time it hits support, it bounces pretty well, honestly. And that's another good thing you can find for buyer support. But the main thing that really tells me that is that this pattern and this chart is going to do well is purely the formation it's made. It's made an ascending triangle and a cup and handle, which I have detailed information about in my VIP course, like I mentioned. And that is an extremely good buy signal in my eyes. This is my biggest position currently, and I'm ready for it to break this previous resistance and head up towards my target. Now, targets. This is something that I personally do with my targets, is I clone my fibs. So I take my Fibonacci and I press clone, I click on it and then go up here at the top, and then I click clone. Then I can drag this up on top. And now, how do I find my targets? Well, I use the 382 and the 236. So once I've double stacked my fibs, I look for these two retracements. So here is my target area. I'm going to draw a little zone here. I'll put this chart in the description of this video too, so that you guys can click on it and look at it later. Where is this? So yeah, 236 to the 382 range. So this is my target. When it breaks major resistance in ascending triangle formations, generally you find that it makes a move about the same size as the triangle. So if you do the math, it would make sense that Litecoin comes up to about the 362 area based on when it breaks out. So that's it lines up perfectly with all of the math. So yeah, that's my target in Litecoin is 0.036 actually, so it's a little bit higher than the 236, but that's because there's normally enough buyer support to come up clear to the zero. So I'm just taking a little extra profit there on the top. But yeah, so that's basically how I do my technical analysis on Litecoin, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and comment for the next one. Just suggest what coin you want me to do, and the next Monday I will make a quick little video doing technical analysis from start to finish and explain kind of how I go about doing so. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate all the viewers, comments, the 10,000 subscribers. I'm making a video for that specifically soon. So yeah, huge shout out. All of the support is amazing. Thank you guys, and as always, stay profitable.